The following is a short tribute to Women's History Month. Hope you enjoy the video.
Being a woman in today's society is very challenging just due to the fact that there is a lot of expectation for women where there is not compared to men. I feel like there's the expectation of being somebody by a certain age, being a mother, being a wife, having a career, also expectations of how we look and how we are to be presented. There's just a lot of expectations and weight on women's shoulders nowadays compared to back in the day where there wasn't as much expectations due to social media and everybody wanting to be at different places.
Being a woman in today's society is beneficial, but it can also be stressful. There's a lot that happens just as far as women's health and the way that we're treated in society, but there's also a lot of power that we have just in being a woman and what we can do when we band together to get things done.
Being a woman in today's society, I think, is difficult at times, but at the same time, I'm really happy at how far women have come in this country and in the world. I feel in many parts of the world there is still a lot of work to do, but in this country, from what I noticed for myself and for young women here in the community, it is a lot better than what it used to be. So it's a little bit of a fresh breath of fresh air. You guys have way more freedoms than we had, way more rights, way more privileges that I feel have been afforded to you. And I'm very curious and very eager to see where that will lead this world in the next few decades.
I think that being a woman in today's society, first and foremost, should mean believing in yourself, and also encourage other women and people in your community to do so as well for themselves, because that's one way that we will all persevere and reach our goals and aspirations together as women.
Being a woman in today's society is a little scary and a little exciting. I would say scary because there's a lot going on to push women back from a lot of the gains that we've made these last few decades. The first thing that comes to my head, for example, is all the legislation that's coming up and being passed by Republican-led states to repress women's rights and put restrictions on women's bodies. So that's really scary. As a female and as a mother who has two daughters, I mean, thank God we live in California, but still, I feel super bad for everyone, like these women and young women in these other states. But I also think it's a really exciting time to be alive. We do have a lot of movement in the right direction, a lot of the Me Too movement and the things that have been happening around that, and just putting a lot of women's issues in the forefront, I think is a really cool place to be in, right? Like we go back and we go forward, and I think that's just kind of how history's always worked, where we make progress, we get pushed back, and then we make progress again. So it's kind of the story of society and the way people work.
I feel like being a woman in today's society is more empowering than it has been in past. Throughout history, women have been, just very discriminated against and not given a voice or power or any respect. And I feel definitely like women are starting to be more empowered and regaining our power in this world.
I think being a woman in today's society is all about empowering other women. I believe that when women support other women, only great things come out of it. If we can learn anything from history, it's that women empowering other women and being brave and bold and supporting them, creativity comes about and greatness comes about.
I feel like there's more effort that needs to be put into our girls here. And that just comes with providing more things for them, figuring out actually what they need so we can help them out in all areas. Be authentically yourself. Don't change who you are for the worse for anyone. Change for the better. Always know who you are. And be true to yourself, like I said as well. Dare to be different at all times.
And if you know that something feels right to you, always go with your gut. Don't always follow the crowd, because sometimes the crowd can lead you down a dark, deep tunnel that you can't come out of.
Take care of yourself, honor yourself, make sure you're putting yourself first before you do other things. Education is important. Make sure that you're doing what you need to do for you.
To the young women of Jordan and the community, and I think the world as a whole, I think that the main advice that I would give them would be to focus on themselves, be positive and be happy, focus on your education and your success. Whether it be college or career, I advise that you focus on yourself and your success, whatever that may look like for you. And another piece of advice I would give would be to not have children until you're at least 26 years old.
Don't be scared to be who you are. Be bold, right? I think we are stronger than society tells us, and going against the grain is not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. But at the same time, I want young women to understand that being bold doesn't mean being mean, doesn't mean being a bully, doesn't mean belittling others. It means being kind. It means being sweet. It means uplifting others, right? Supporting others, lending a helping hand. We are not in competition. We are all here to support each other.
Using your voice for good, not giving in to society's like mean girl expectation, you know, using your voice for good, empowering other women instead of like putting each other down, because at the end of the day, we women, we have to stick together, and like society wants us to be, you know, against one another, but we really have to collaborate and use our voice to lift one another up, empower each other. Also, your voice is so strong, because something I wish someone would have told me, our voice is everything. We set our boundaries with our voice. We allow the respect that is given to us through our voice. If we see something is unjust, whether it be a law or if something like one of your friends treating you a certain way, if we don't speak up and say, I don't like that, voice our boundary, whether to our friends, even in high school, or to family, you know, then we're gonna allow disrespect to continually happen to us. And, you know, talking about empowerment and being a woman in society today, we need to use our voice to change that.
Don't be afraid to dream big, right? Because your dreams, what you want to do, your interests, you are capable of achieving those goals and dreams that you have for yourself. And just know that there are people around you who want to support you, who believe in you, especially here at Jordan, and people want to help you. So don't be afraid to dream big. And with that said, I would also advise young women at Jordan to surround themselves with people who also want to see them succeed, right? Because it's important to be surrounded by a good group of friends and individuals who believe in you and that you trust.
Trust in your path. It's something that I live by and has worked well for me. Even when things are really tough and rough and you feel like life sucks and for whatever reason you feel like things are against you, trust that that is supposed to be happening and will lead you to where you should be and where you need to be in life. Don't have any regrets. Everything that happens to us teaches us something and makes us better people and stronger people in the end.